Building itself, they make it look like fancy on the show, but like watching it gave me PTSD.
So this creator did a really good job of describing the Selling Sunset project that Jason was working on in the most recent season, and how it was kind of ridiculous that they were asking so much money, like $7.5 million for it. And her kudos to Chriselle for calling them out on it. And I want to say that one of the first things that kind of came up in those comments of that video, and that kind of came up to me when I was watching it, is like, how could a real estate team of such eminence, of such expertise, be embedded so deeply in a deal like this? Like, how could they take it upon themselves to not see how crazy it is to ask for that much money on that street and in that area? And then it kind of occurred to me that, like, they're not trying to sell to LA people. They're not trying to sell to people who actually know the area and know the value of an LA dollar when it comes to housing. They're trying to sell to people who they can sell Hollywood, or that Hollywood effect or illusion, to. It's the same exact thing that they did to the Metropolis building in downtown LA, where they were trying to sell these condos at astronomical prices. And the same thing that they do with like high-rise condos in Pasadena that just don't make sense with the comps in the area. And essentially it's where developers kind of get it into their head that, like, because they've overspent pretty much, because they've overspent so much money on a project, they have to make it up somewhere. They have to find some buyer who pretty much is going to be silly enough to buy that project and take all that on. And because they know that they can't find that person in LA, I bet anything that they're trying to sell to somebody in a different country. They're trying to sell it to someone either in China, or, I mean, they have some restrictions now, but in some other country with a whole ton of money, who doesn't actually know the on the ground landscape of what LA real estate is. Because back in 2018, 2019, that's exactly what people were doing. Agents, especially in the luxury market, they were pitching directly to people who had no idea what on the ground LA looked like, and they could charge astronomical prices for these properties. Because again, if you're selling to people who can't actually drive the building, it is very easy to make it look like it's worth $7.5 million. You can take all the pictures, all the videography. Heck, they got most of us fooled for those who don't know the area. So at the end of the day, will they sell this for $7.5 million? In my opinion, I don't think so. Who will they sell it to? Probably somebody out of state, probably someone from New York City who's like, oh my God, that's a deal. And most likely they'll probably sell it for a couple million under the ask price, where the buyer will think that they got a good deal, but in reality, we'll know that they overpaid for that. But I'm kind of curious what you predict is going to happen with those.